And what can you do? You just do what you do, and you say, "Okay, hi, everybody, glad you're here."
Now we are live. See there, Mister.
We're going to live tonight on Facebook and LinkedIn. And I told Lisa, does that mean we have? Or I asked her. No, I think I told her that means we better behave on this one.
You're losing it there, pal.
Oh well, it's not the first time.
Oh, well, now that how's your coffee supply this evening?
I'm not drinking iced tea tonight. There's ice in my coffee.
Well, I know what that means, right? Yeah, that's awesome.
Well,
So I'm out here in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Tell me more, because I love this.
Having an awesome time. As you know, I've done sent out cards as a side gig for 14 years, used it extensively in building my core business, which is Avon. I've sent 82,000 cards in the last 14 years, and it's been one of the best tools I've used. And what happened lately is I was asked to be on Cody Bateman's podcast, which he's on, I think he's done 19 shows now. Yeah.
You nailed that when you were on that podcast. You were awesome.
Oh, well, thanks, Coach, because you helped with that. When his assistant first called to book me, I was a little panic stricken.
I got your back.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, that I thought it was good. When we first recorded it before I got to do the replay, that's when I was calling you for the coaching. Because I was like, ah! But then once I watched it, I was happy with it too. And we have right now, right this moment, we have the most views of any of his podcast episodes.
The last time I looked at, there were over 500 views.
Yeah.
That was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So now showing up here, though, everybody knows my name.
Tell me more. I interrupted you to tell you did a good job, and I stopped your flow. I'm so sorry.
No, what's cool is, of course, I told before we went live in the green room, I told Mr. Jeff here that I'm thinking about keeping my hair blue forever because it's so much fun. So I'm in the elevator and there I go, oh, you're the lady with the blue hair. And you were on Cody's podcast. It's pretty awesome.
It has opened up a whole new world for you.
Yeah, a whole new universe. When you said I don't want to say I hate it, but I should expect it. You keep making predictions that come true. And you said a whole new chapter of your life is opening up, and you were right. You're always right.
Yeah,
anyway,
to quote a great book, I'll say, who knew?
Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? So one of the things we did, this is a big card from Sent Out Cards, and Peg and I, both Peg's right here, Peg Duchesne, the number one supporter of the book launch, by the way. But I sent myself this as a big card from Sent Out Cards, and I also did this at the Avon convention, and it's for autographs. And so far, I've got this many.
That's great.
That's not too bad.
You know, that's how I had that thought to put in the book where Bella's having everyone autograph her hero's book, is because you were doing that at the event in San Antonio, and I thought, really? Oh, that's awesome. I'll use that in the story.
I didn't know that's where that came from. Oh, that's neat.
You've done some good things there, girl.
You're a good listener. That's what Peg said.
What? I'm kidding. Okay. By the way, hi, Peg, of course, and then Teresa, June, and Kim, and Debbie, and Facebook users. And let's see.
Oh, we got everybody. Oh, Kim, Debbie, Britt. Yay. Oh, Teresa. Yay.
We love you guys. I'm glad you got the message about it coming on early. And this is so funny because Peg and Lisa just finally got to actually meet in person yesterday, right?
Yay. Yes.
Isn't that fun?
We were gonna take a picture, and I was too tired. I didn't do it.
If you take a tired picture, it looks like you took a drunk picture. So be careful. Right. Just saying.
Oh yeah, I kind of look like I got rolled in a squirrel fight. I used to say street fight, but see, for you, I changed it to squirrel fight.
By the way, when I put out the post in the group about the show being an hour early tonight, I got tickled. I wanted to put a picture of either a squirrel with a watch or a menacing squirrel, and I couldn't find anything that I could use safely royalty free. So I found that on Amazon. So I'll post their ad. They can't get mad at me for posting their ad.
The squirrel was that a machine gun?
It was some sort of gun. I don't know. I didn't stay around to look. I left.
It was a squirrel killing gun.
A squirrel killing gun.
The squirrel was going to shoot back, and I don't think they'd be a good shot, but sometimes I'm not either.
So, but before we get carried away, because now we're already 5 minutes into my 10 minutes, I don't.
Sorry, we'll be flexible now. I do have to leave on time, relatively close.
Yes, yeah. Oh, we do too. We do. What are you doing?
I'm glad I didn't say a word then. Like golly or darn.
Golly or darn. Oh my goodness. Everybody that knows me thinks that you don't swear ever, and that I'm like a swearing pirate because of what you say.
Well, I will tell them all that is exactly correct. You swear all the time, and I've never said a curse word in my life.
Kim says dadgum.
Dadgum.
See? Yeah.
I actually do not have a very good mouth at times, and I have often said that my mouth makes me a bad example sometimes.
Oh, makes you a bad example. I'm sorry about that.
What the heck?
Considering my mouth, I think you're doing all right.
It's become a game that you want to see how quickly you can embarrass me on the show.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what we're going to do. We're going to embarrass you.
We want to embarrass you. Go ahead.
Okay.
So we're at breakfast this morning, and Lisa is handing out bracelets and bookmarks.
Right.
And she hands a bookmark to a woman, and at the bottom of the bookmark is your picture, Jeff. And she said, "Whoa, wait a minute. Who's this hot dude?"
and you know what I said?
No.
I know, right?
Don't rob somebody her grandmother used to date. I'm old now.
So. Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then we started talking about Audible. If you think he looks good, you should hear him. Get the Audible version. You're going to love it.
He's getting red.
So I think he sold about 8 or 10 Audible versions today.
Yeah,
oh,
he's
cool.
getting red. Look at.
By the way, Lisa and Peg, I today finished the final edit on the Audible version of my first book, The Unexpected Tour Guide, and it is all loaded up to Audible. It has to go through their approval process and their quality control check. That normally takes about 10 days unless I messed it up and have to redo it. But as I was listening to the edit, I kind of fell back in love with the story again. It's not as I think. She said the lady with the blue hair is the best thing I've ever written, and I think our partnership on that is wonderful. But The Unexpected Tour Guide wasn't a slouch either. And so I was going back through
awesome.
It's a great
I
story.
can't wait to hear the Audible for that. Yeah, I bet you killed it.
I was pleased with it. It took me just about as much editing on mine as it did for us as far as all that goes.
No, there's no possible way.
Because my breath sounds were so loud. I'd be going, and Ray said, and so I had to go through literally and edit
some of that recording, right? You weren't fighting a cold?
Say again?
Were you fighting a cold during some of that, Peg said?
Yes.
Oh, that's why you were doing the yeah. No, I mean you're I know you like to gloss over that and make it awesome. And then you were making fun of me last time because I would thought it was
I meant it in the best possible way.
I'm sure you did. I won't say what I'm thinking right now, but I actually think that it's not bad to share that I was out of my mind, because so many people, when they try something new like that, are panicked, just like I did.
Yeah.
And
I'm so proud of you for what we accomplished in that, Lisa. I mean, again, it wasn't your comfort zone, and it wasn't an easy process for your first time. It'll be easier when we do a sequel in 2024. But
Yay for the sequel.
How's that for dropping a big hint out there? I put out a potential plot line online earlier, and it was when I put that thing up about New Hampshire and the UFO sightings. So
that is not funny.
I think we'll have Peg and Bell get abducted by aliens and turn it into a new sales territory. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I didn't know that about New Hampshire, but it doesn't surprise me. We're all a little was it cabin crazy? No, what is it called when you stay in too much?
Cabin fever.
Cabin fever.
Cabin fever?
We've all got cabin fever because what are we allowed outside when it's warm enough? What, 2 months a year? What is it? 2? Right.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, New Hampshire, there are very few states that I would actually live in. And I love all the states. Don't get me wrong. They're gorgeous to visit, but taxation and all that's a big deal to me. So Texas has no state income tax. New Hampshire doesn't, if I remember correctly, and you don't even have property tax there either, which is great because my property tax here is out.
No, we have high
Oh, you
property
do?
tax.
Okay.
That's the only thing we do have. They're supplementing stuff with tax on alcohol and cigarettes, though. They own the rights to that stuff in gambling.
They kind of let the sin tax.
Right, the sin tax is right.
Okay.
But
Right.
there's no sales tax and no personal income tax.
The
Okay, so we talk about
Florida's
the-
that way too.
You want to talk about the thing so at the meet and greet today we had a bunch of people come in. That was awesome. And it was kind of funny because it was some of my Avon buddies, but it was at the same time that a whole bunch of the send out cards people are coming here, and this is their host hotel. So we were all sitting right near the entrance, and when some of the guys came in, they assumed we were all here for the send out cards thing. So they were like shaking hands and kissing babies. and they're like, why are you sitting here? And my buddies are like, why are you all talking to us or something? It was kind of funny, but it worked out. We all made new friends. So that was awesome. But one of the ladies that was there brought up something that she said she hopes that I talk about more because I haven't been talking about it enough. Mm-hmm. And I asked you about it in the pre-show, and I'm dying to hear your opinion of it, but because we have similar backgrounds and you have a big management, actually you probably, because you worked with the corporation more, have a different slant on it that I want to hear. So if you don't mind, okay.
Go right at it.
Okay. So as independent representatives with Avon or any of the other direct sales companies, if they have a network marketing component, usually they have an upline. And with Avon, they didn't always have the network marketing. So there's a bunch of people without an upline, including me. And there's a bunch of people in every company in network marketing that doesn't mesh with their upline for whatever reason that is. And this lady that I was talking to, and it's actually a common thing that I hear, and I used to address it a lot more, and I quit talking about it. But she's been spending time campaigning the company to get put under somebody as a downline because she believed that had something to do with her success. And what I told her was, to me, if you don't have an upline or don't have the upline that you want, don't think that upline is doing what you want them to do or is supportive, go ahead and be that person you wanted to have, because that's what I decided was the best route. I didn't want to be under somebody else because what are the odds that they wouldn't be good anyway? So I'd go to all that work and spend all that effort. And when the reality is I could be the person, the leader that I always wanted to have. And actually in the long run, that's worked out so much better. I feel better that I developed myself into the leader I always wanted than I would if I had found the leader I always wanted. So I want to hear your take on that, though, if you would.
My take on it's very similar to yours. Of course, I do have some time in direct sales back in the 80s as well, but my career with Aflac was very much like that because everyone who came on board with the company was an independent contractor. They weren't Aflac employees. And when they came on board, they were either recruited by or assigned to a district sales coordinator who was assigned to a regional sales coordinator who was assigned to a state sales coordinator. And all the way up through my position, which is as high as I could go in the career as a state sales coordinator, I was actually an independent contractor. I didn't work for somebody else. And because of that, you'll have that same feel inside of that. It wasn't called an upline, but it was the same thing. Your district was responsible for supporting you. The region was responsible for helping recruit and supporting everyone along the way. And so there would occasionally come up a situation. That was my Georgia coming out. There'll come up a situation. Debbie Britt understood me. But occasionally you would have a situation where someone didn't gel exactly correctly with their district or their region. I was one of them. But we did move people around for the exact reason you said, which is go be the leader, go be the person you want to be. You work for yourself, you don't work for them. And it's like I kind of I wrote it in the storyline with Kai when she was asking what an upline was. And I explained an upline, you always make the most money off of anything you do. And your upline makes a little percentage for being the one who brought you on board or supporting you. And so it was the same thing in the insurance industry. When I would go out and field train someone in sales with Aflac, they would make 40% commission on a cancer policy. I would make 10, and the region would make 6, and the state would make 4, if I remember right. So we all tried to do a good job, but the truth is it doesn't matter. I remember my first regional sales coordinator with Aflac and I didn't exactly gel, and basically, how shy I can be. I just kind of spoke up about it. And I'm not to, but in my case, I didn't go say I want to be transferred somewhere. I went to his office and said, "I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. We need to figure out how to work together."
Oh, that's awesome of you.
And to his credit, he didn't get mad too bad.
I don't know if you saw this happen, but like I've seen Avon representatives that actually sabotage their own career, shot themselves in the foot just so that their bad upline didn't earn on them.
Yeah,
and who does that help?
It doesn't help anyone, but I have seen people do that in the insurance industry as well.
Yeah.
And you can't fix that. You can try to love them through it. You can tell them, look, I understand the best thing you can do is do really well so I can put you in a similar position and promote you up. So
right. So I think you agree with me that you're better off to develop yourself. Absolutely. And be the leader. That if you didn't have the leader, and I tried to, she wasn't getting the analogy that well, so I said, "Look at it, she's got kids," and I said, "Was your mother?" I'm not going to say it right. Was your parents the best, most spectacular parents you ever had in the world, and you didn't want anything to be different? She said, "No, but I was different with my own kids," and I said, "There you go. That's exactly what I'm saying. You can't change the parents." Once you're in somebody's downline, you can't change it. Once you're somebody's kids, you can't change that. But you can go ahead with the rest of your life and you be the one that makes the difference going forward.
That's a perfect example. And I've told the story probably on our show. I don't remember. I'm old and I reboot every night. But I've told the story where my parents loved me, and I know they did, but they weren't demonstrative of that as far as showing affection or anything of that nature. And it's just the way it was. And I had a great sales mentor that's actually in the Unexpected Tour Guide, a man named Jack Amberson. And in interviewing for the job, I watched how he was with his children, and he'd give them hugs and kisses and tell them how much he loved them. And they said, "I'm so proud God picked me to be your daddy." I was blown away. That moment in my life, that week, changed the life of my daughters. It changed the life of their children. It's just, you become the person you want them to be. And so it's you've nailed it right on the head. You can't do it any better than that. Even when I worked for someone else, when I was working in the industrial uniform industry and even for the musical instrument company, I always mentally looked at it like I worked for myself and I sold my time to them, and I negotiated how much they would pay me for my time, but I worked for myself. And if they ticked me off, well, okay, they ticked me off. A driver every now and then could tick me off too. It doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. So, but anyway, I think you gave her the best possible advice, and I'm not surprised, lady with the blue hair.
Well, and if you seek out, like, if you don't know what you want, seek out some good examples. That would be the same in parenting. Yeah. You'd seek out some good examples, like you noticed Jack's treatment, and then you modeled it. So, I mean, we can do that in business too.
I think that's probably a good model for every area of our lives, Lisa. And I'm not always good at this, but if your people you work with aren't necessarily the ones you want to work with, become the person you want to work with and see if that changes them. Same thing in a marriage, same thing in a relationship. Be the person you wish they were and see if that changes things. And my wife will be one of the first to tell you I'm not real good at that yet, but I'm getting help. How's that? I've got to tell you, I was talking to or emailing. Yeah, Lisa and I are friends with John David Mann and his wife Anna, as well as Bob Berg. And I've said many times, John David Mann is my favorite author. The guy is a tremendous storyteller. I think he's the best storyteller of our time, but he's just my favorite author. And through the common relationships we have, we've gotten to know them. And we just had such a great visit with them this week. And John's got a new book coming out this summer. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to get involved in helping him promote that, kind of like what y'all did with us, because I love this man and his wife so much. They're good people. They're the kind of people that when you get to know them, you want them to do well. And so, but I'm excited. He's got a new book coming out this summer, and he's written a series. The first one was called Steel Fear. The second one was called Cold Fear. And this next one's called Blind Fear. And it's basically they're murder mysteries, even though the main character is a Navy SEAL. It's not really about the military. It's more about murder mysteries and that kind of thing. But excellent writing. The guy's tremendous.
And it's funny. I'm like not even into that genre like you are. And I read the 2 books right through, loved them. And I thought they were awesome. I'm not sure whether it was the writing that brought me in, or must be the story, because I normally don't make it through a book like that. And I read both of them all the way through and was fine. They were awesome.
I did like people have done with ours. I read it, then I got the audiobook too. And the guy doing the audiobook is amazing. He's actually an actor. John told us the other day, but I can't remember what shows he was on. But the accents he would do, oh gosh, they're incredible. But I was reading it.
I'm sorry, Teresa Staples, who's a buddy of mine in New Hampshire, she said, love his books, can't wait for his next one.
You're going to love it, Teresa. And I truly expect, I don't know anything, and this is not saying anything like that, but I truly expect someday somebody's going to do something with this, either in a TV show or a movie or something.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah. And Michaela Field said, we're all a work in progress.
Yes, we are, Michaela. Nice. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that.
And somebody said, hello from Kannapolis, North Carolina. Whoever you are, please type your name in the comments, because we're seeing Facebook user. I'm not seeing who you are. And I'd love to say hi back.
And I've never been to Kannapolis, North Carolina. I've been to North Carolina many times, but I don't know where Kannapolis is.
I bet you I drove through it with a truck somehow.
I spoke in Hickory, North Carolina a few times, and I've been to Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina is where I first saw Zig Ziglar. And I so wish I could do a Zig impression like Bob can.
Oh, we gotta like bug Bob to do that more. Yep. Matter of fact, he called me on the phone lately for something, and I talked him into doing it.
Lisa, I can't do it. Bob is wonderful at it.
Do you know Katrina Deal Sutton from Kannapolis? Yay, Katrina.
Hi, Katrina. Anyway,
Katrina. Maybe I'm not saying that right. Catrinia. Katrina.
Katrina looks like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I was reading, John's got a resource that if you are an aspiring writer, you should get this resource. It's called How to Write Good, or at least Gooder. And he put a comment in there, and it really, his comment was, how do you make a great book? And I want to read what he put in this, because I thought about my favorite books, and they're that way. And I think Said the Lady with the Blue Hair is probably living up to this too. It says, what are the ingredients that make a good story? A story needs a person you care about who has a problem. Now, it may not be a problem per se. It may simply be a person that you care about who wants something. And because you care about that person, their yearning becomes your yearning. That's why you keep turning the pages. Yearn makes the yarn.
Oh,
I love that quote. Okay, well, I've lost you here. Nice. Hang on. There you are. Okay. But I think that's why people are saying so many good things about Said the Lady with the Blue Hair. Number one, they love the story, they love the content, but also, Lisa, they love you, and that's a big part of it, and that's a good thing. That's a part of the best possible scenario of this. But I was listening to an audio. It's basically a testimonial. Lisa and I were on a podcast that hasn't aired yet.
Oh,
that's hilarious. I'll let you tell about it, and then I want to tell about her little commercial.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, what is it? Badass Direct Sales.
Oh, yes.
Oh, what's the title? Oh,
all
gosh,
I know
Jennifer, I'm so sorry, I'm not remembering the exact
Horses
title.
and Whips. That's.
But it was so funny, and she's hilarious. And you guys, especially if you're in direct sales, you need to follow her podcast. She's got great content. But we were on there, and she sent Lisa and I a copy of a thing she's going to put out, and it's like the raw version's like a 2.5 minute audio, and it's one of the kindest and best possible endorsements of the book. So
Oh, nice.
it is.
I haven't heard it yet because it
Yeah.
came in just before that. But when we were talking to her originally, and she said something about corsets and whips, you're
I blushed and you loved the show.
yeah, you blushed, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought this is so awesome. This, yeah. I live to make you nervous. We all know that, right?
I know. It's part of our shtick as George and Gracie.
Yeah.
You'll say something, I'll blush, and I'll say something, and it'll make you say something else, and I'll blush again. And, I'm okay with that because you know what? I can pull that off. I can blush.
Oh,
You were
yeah.
talking about something earlier that made me think about this. Talking about meeting people and the different things with that. I remember when I was in direct sales and when I was in any kind of sales, actually, especially with insurance sales, because you're an independent contractor. I remember that feeling of having to get to meet people that I didn't know, and so I developed some techniques of my own that I say my own. I probably learned them from my upline, to be honest with you, but just ways to get that started, ways to start up a conversation. And I wrote some of that into the book with Michael's character when Kai's remembering some of the things that Michael did.
Oh, that's
And
right.
Michaela's talking about some of her favorite things about her dad, because that's what I would do. I would be in the middle of somewhere and just get an opportunity to talk to somebody, and I would look at him and go, "Do you know me?" and the Carl Malden commercial back then was really funny, but I would do that because anybody say, "I think I know you" or whatever, and it comes off kind of bad. But when you go to someone and say, "Do you know me?" it seems more genuine or whatever. And,
what's happened to me all the way out here is I didn't realize, how like Harley people riding Harleys like give each other the high five and stuff.
Right.
Now everybody with a wild hair color, like they're coming down the aisle in the plane, and I know what they're doing because they have bright pink or
Right.
green and they look at me. There you go.
Every time I see one, if it's a place where I can have a conversation, like it's a
you
server at a
tell 'em
restaurant or
about the
whatever,
book?
I tell them about the book. I tap their phone with a card. I do it all. I said, "Yeah, you got to read this book. You're going to love this book." And I tell, if it's a waitress or whatever, I say, "Look, you get the book today. If you don't like it, when I come back in, I'll tip you $20 to offset the cost of the book." So far,
Well, that's
nobody's
awesome.
taken me up on that. They buy it, and they have bought the book.
Michaela Fields, I think, has blue too, right? Didn't I see your picture, Michaela, where you have blue too?
The squirrel had blue.
She's getting that. Oh, that was funny. Yeah.
Another thing that I wrote into the book
Bullying.
is how I would meet somebody too. And I would do this. I'd go up to someone, "Hi, how am I doing?" And just see if they paid attention. Once I got that started, we'd start laughing. Then I could ask them questions, and I would just ask them questions to get to know them. And then if I wanted to keep that information, I would. It wasn't so much a business purpose as much as it was to get me used to doing it, so that when I later began making cold calls on businesses, I just go in and cut up with people, and they love it.
You're a better man than me, because in all reality, I didn't do cold calls. Wouldn't do cold calls is why I came up with the 101 marketing ways that I do it, because I don't cold call. Michaela says, yes, hers is blue right now. And a Facebook user, you need to put your name. I don't have it. Said, "Love you, Lisa," and heart. That's so
There you
awesome.
go.
Thank you so much.
I love her too. Love you back. All that stuff. So anyway, I know we got to get out of here because you got somewhere to go and I've got somewhere to go, but we got 2 minutes.
Indeedy.
Yep.
Yes, indeedy.
Let's see. One more thing. Anything for you? Okay.
Oh, no. We're going to be putting content on the page. We're going to I'm traveling the next few weeks, so a time might be adjusted like now. So always check the pinned post in the group, and we'll make sure to update you on when we're going live. But we don't have any plans to not do this. We want to do this to be with you. Okay. So we will just update it, and we'll do it every week for you.
And please share the show, share everything, share the group, invite people. And I do this every week. I talk about Amazon reviews. Yeah. You guys have done great. We're now up to like 40 something ratings, and they're I think all of them but 1 or 2 are 5-star, and the others are 4-star.
That's
and
awesome.
Then we're up to 30 something reviews now. I try to remember to take a picture of it and post it to thank you for your review when I see that. And sometimes I don't know who it is, and I'll just say, "Thank you, anonymous Amazon review." But I just want all of you to know how much we really appreciate it. And please don't stop. If you've read the book, you've read the audiobook, read the audiobook. If you've read the audiobook or you listen to the paperback,
You need a keeper, man. You need a keeper.
I really do sometimes. But please post the stuff, share it the way this is going to take off. And Lisa's kind of experiencing this week, and this is fun to watch. But the way this is really going to take off is going to be because the word of mouth is so strong. So everybody that you know that's in sales, tell them about the book, tell them about Lisa. You're the magic behind this anyway. We love you guys so much.
Well, thank you very much. And bye from Peg. Say bye, Peg.
Bye, Peg.
Bye.
Thank you very much, everybody. And we will see you soon.
All right, love you guys.
Thank you.
Love you right back.
Are we off?